Hey everyone. This video is to share an endgame item filter with you all that I've spent a very long time creating. The reason I created this filter is because number one, I wanted a filter that preserved the game's natural aesthetic, and two, I couldn't find one that existed, so I created my own. I've taken a few screenshots in game to better explain and demonstrate to you why I created a filter to preserve the game's natural aesthetics. On screen right now, you can see a screenshot of the game with the default font size intended for the game on PC. When you compare this image to the second image, where font size is increased, all of a sudden the game's environment feels smaller. The larger font size draws attention, shrinking the perceived size of the environment by overpowering it visually. In the third image, there is an example of an item filter that alters the background color to something different from the default, which can make the text and details of the items harder to read. In image 4, font size has been decreased from its default setting, making items harder to read, causing eye strain. In my natural aesthetic endgame item filter, it shows desired loot for endgame and keeps the natural aesthetic intended for the game with no scaling, preventing the issues mentioned. However, I made one exception by adding a custom color for more valuable items such as divine orbs, perfect jeweler orbs, and stellar amulets, which maintains cohesion with the game's aesthetics. If you have achieved the endgame and obtained character level 90 and want to try out the filter for yourself, there is a link in the video description below. The next part of this video is going to be quite long as I go over the code to the item filter. There's quite a bit to cover, so let's get into it. On screen right now, you can see the code to the item filter. This section here is the item color chart section that I put in, where I manually took screenshots of every item rarity and put them into an image editing software to find the color codes, as I could not find them anywhere. So if you ever need the codes to the default colors in the game, you can find them right here. So normal items, magic items, rare items, unique items, uncut skill and spirit gems, currency items, and then you have that custom color that I also created in here as well. This section here is the crafting section. You also have sapphire rings and stellar amulets getting that custom color as they can be chanced into dream fragments and astromantis. These commands here hide everything else of normal rarity, so if it's not listed above here, they automatically get hidden by these commands here. The flask section is here, so life flasks and mana flasks are automatically hidden. The gem section is here, so uncut skill gems and uncut spirit gems level 20 show with that custom color. Uncut skill gems level 19 and below are hidden. Same concept for spirit gems, but it's for 18 and below, as level 19 spirit gems can still be sold for multiple exalted orbs. And then obviously support gems are also hidden because we no longer need them in the end game, as we already have them all. This section here is the magic item section. I've used what I refer to here a smart line of code, where I've literally hidden, if it's not listed above in this section, it gets hidden with these two lines of code right here. I do not recommend applying this to normal items, as normal items also classify as currency items as well. So some items in the game listed on the currency exchange are categorized as normal items. So I highly advise caution or against using these two lines of code for normal items. This section here is the rare item section. And then it hides everything else. This section here is for stackable currency items. So perfect jeweler orbs, greater jeweler orbs, divine orbs, etc. They all get that custom color, the minimap icon, etc. Exalted orb, chaos orbs, regular orbs, etc. in these two lines of code here, they get that border color which is to the default color of the text. In my opinion, they should have this by default. I just don't think Grinding Gear Games has gotten around to it yet. And then you have hide specific currency items, so Scroll of Wisdom, Orb of Augmentation, Transmutation, etc. They're all hidden. They're not valuable, and you can buy bulk extremely cheap. Then you have hide all generic runes. These take up too much room in your stash and inventory. They're relatively cheap to buy. At the end of the game, you're just better off hiding them. This section here is for trial keys. I hide them as I don't farm them, and I already have like a full stash tab full of trial keys. However, if you want them shown, just type show in and then they'll show, and click submit. Then you got breach items. So breach splinters get that default color for the border to make them more visible, and they also get that minimap icon. Catalysts are hidden if they're not in stacks of 5 and above. Same concept for the runes. So they take up too much room, they're relatively cheap, and they just cause too much clutter in the game. Endgame. Hide gold under 500, so if it's not a stack of 500 above, you won't see it. It doesn't mean that you still can't pick gold up that's 500 and below. You will still be picking up gold that's 500 and below if you happen to walk over it. You then have the pinnacle boss keys with specific style with that custom color. You can probably see right here, Breachstone is included in this section here. However, for some reason, it's not linked with pinnacle keys yet. Therefore, it will not get the custom color unless you write an additional code with just the base type to show it. So just a heads up. That may be already fixed. I haven't tested for a while, but just a heads up anyway. Show delirium pinnacle key items. So the splinters, same as the breach splinters. Then you have the unique items. So these are the most desired unique items in the game. I've also included some items that can be corrupted to have significant value. So for instance, the crude bow is a Widow Hail. If it's corrupted with a 300% modifier, it's worth 25 to 50 divine orbs. And then I've hidden all the insignificant unique items in the game, even if they're corrupted. So I always update this as the meta changes and the meta shifts. It does a pretty good job. It's something that will always be continuously updated and changed. I do not think that there will be a final filter or unique items, as unique items always shift in the game. And then finally, you have the soul cores with specific styling. So these are the two most valuable items in the game for soul cores. They can drop outside of the trials, and they can drop in the campaign in maps, so they get that custom color. That's the item filter. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and if you have any feedback about the filter, let me know in the comments below.